hold on a minute. Let me get my surroundings here. This doesn't look like Washington, D.C. No. But I get to do a show with you again. Boy, what do they say about the best laid plans? Yeah, I think the end of that parable is get ready to cancel your flight plans when you make the best laid plans, when everything looks as though it's working out perfectly. So, yes, the inauguration went inside. Here I am on Friday. I think I did it Thursday, too, and explaining to you that I'm going to try to live stream the event and this and that. I'll be talking to people. It'll be great. And it would have been. And it's still going to be. But Friday, I'm driving around. You probably got the exact same alerts that I did on my phone. I'm driving around, and things are going crazy on my phone. And President Trump makes an announcement that the inauguration is going inside, citing the cold and the weather. And I drove a little bit further, and I went, wow, that's interesting. Well, that's good. Oh, I know what that means. Looks like I won't be going to Washington, D.C. And I'm glad I bought those tickets on point. Not the inauguration tickets. More on that in just a second. But I got to tell you, and here's the reason why, after talking this thing through, with my friends and going through that, there was no, unless you were going to a ball or you were actually a dignitary or in the administration, there is absolutely no reason to be in that city over the weekend, including even today, because you're basically just wandering around it started to sleet last night, too, with nothing to do but to walk and wait in lines. Like, that's basically it. I've actually messaged back and forth with a couple of people who are there right now, and they're just miserable. Because you've got, there were going to be, they estimated, 200,000 people in town descending upon D.C. for the inauguration. I'm sure a lot of people like me canceled out. Let's knock that down to 100,000 in half, right? You've got a big portion of that, 60, 70,000 they estimated, trying to get into the Capital One Arena Freedom Rally that happened yesterday to try to get in for that. For an arena that holds, and this is being generous, maybe 20,000, maybe. 18 more like it. So you've got those people waiting, and they started lining up. I knew this was going to happen. They started lining up at 5 a.m., line was around the arena building for something that started at, wound up being like, 1:30 or something, and most of them didn't get in. So you're sitting there in the freezing rain, nothing to do. And then somebody messaged me last night, and they said, as of last night, like after the rally, you couldn't get an Uber, you're walking around, there's nothing to do, and every single street was closed off. I don't think we're missing much. Unless you're going to one of the balls, that's for sure. But let's always look at the positive. But I get to do a live stream with you as scheduled, and it's still going to be an awesome day, and happy Inauguration Day to everybody that celebrates, and that should be everybody. Thanks for finding Wicked Radio, by the way. Thank you so much. Big update. The audio podcast went bananas over the past couple of weeks with downloads. Thank you so much for finding that. I appreciate it very much in the 5-star ratings. Appreciate that. And as always, you can find this as a live stream refeed on X and YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff. So thanks for being with me. Now, let's get into the theories. As you can imagine, I've been thinking about this a lot over the weekend and this happens when you're trying to cancel plans and get your flights back and all this other stuff and cancel the hotel. Yes, I believe cold played a factor. Sure, why not? Yeah, absolutely. Really, though, I got to think this is 100% security. This is all about security. And I think we were all thinking, and this isn't any kind of a contrarian opinion. I think a lot of people are thinking this is for security. And when you think about security, you're thinking security mostly for, obviously, the big guy, President Trump, all the dignitaries there, foreign nationals, so they must have gotten some sort of a credible threat there. Like I said, after thinking about this a lot, here's the element of security where I think it was all about. For people like me that were going up there, honest to God, after seeing the lunatics, and there weren't many of them. So remember, there used to be the Women's March. Now they call it the People's March. That happened in Washington, D.C. yesterday. So they even cut women out of that. Like, are they trying to remove women all from society, the left? What's going on there? Now it's the People's March. I honestly, truly believe this. I think this was a security concern, but they didn't want a massive number, a couple of 100,000 Trump supporters getting rope-a-doped into doing something stupid by these idiots, where they would have been agitated into doing something stupid, and there were fights, and the media would love that, and then they could call all Trump supporters and patriotic Americans, extreme. Honest to God, that's what I think the reason was for putting this thing indoors and controlling it. And by the way, my own personal theory, I think he's already been sworn in. I think this is all just ceremonial at the Capitol. I think it happened either on Air Force One, before it happened, might have happened at Mar-a-Lago. I don't know. But that's my theory. After thinking about this a lot, I think it was about security. Sure for the president, but mostly for Trump supporters. I really, truly do believe that. So, whatever. Or you could listen to failed, screeching, hysterical propagandist ex-CNN anchors like Don Lemon. Remember Don Lemon? Remember this guy? Oh, he's got a theory too. Oh, yeah. He has a reason why he thinks the the inauguration is going inside. Get a load of this.
I'm not sure it's the cold. I think maybe it's that you're afraid of the crowd sizes.
Oh, here we go.
And that hotels are still available. And that a lot of people, as many people as, showed up for, Barack Obama or Joe Biden or whatever, won't be showing up for your inauguration.
What hotels were available? I looked for weeks. Weeks. That's not it. And we're back to crowd sizes. I haven't heard the crowd size argument for 4 years. I forgot about it. The crowd size for President Trump's inauguration. Oh, it's nothing. Let me tell you about crowd size. You want to know about a crowd size? He won the popular vote. There's your crowd size, Don Lemon. Oh, my God. That guy making his voice heard again. But it happened. And the Freedom Rally happened last night. You got Kid Rock on there. The Village People showed up. How about that? Oh, how about the inauguration balls, by the way? The thing that happened on Friday night? What's the story with Snoop Dogg? Remember Snoop Dogg when Trump got elected the first time? He called any, I think he called any rap artist that supported or went to the first inauguration. He called them Uncle Tom's, I believe. And they did that video where he's pretending to shoot Trump in the head. But there's Snoop spinning the wheels of steel, DJing at the Trump inauguration ball. How do we take that? As a good? I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I'll take it, I guess, but I wouldn't trust them. There's going to be so many people in entertainment and in the media that are trying to kiss up to Trump now. And in tech and business, by the way. The Bill Gateses, the Zuckerbergs of the world. That's all happening. I think this time around, fingers and toes crossed, he's smart enough to accept a negotiation with him, have him at the party, bring him under the umbrella, but not trust him. I think anyway. But then the rally did happen yesterday for those who got in. And by the way, by the time it started, this is why I'm so glad a lot of people stayed away. When this thing was over, there were still thousands of people waiting to get in because there was nowhere to go. There was nothing else to do. And they're in the sleet and the snow. Not good. But the message was sent.
We won.
So here's the rumors floating out about what's going to happen on day one. And we'll get to the audio of him talking about these executive orders, first of all kinds of very, very credible people are talking about, here's your changes. And they talk about openness, transparency going on. There's a lot of people, many people, not like the the outlandish people who are on the outer edge of media, just throwing out ideas, hoping something sticks to the wall. Very credible people who think not only the JFK files, but all of the January 6th files, the FBI inter-office communication files that led to that, are all going to be unclassified. That could go among other things, by the way, the declassification. That could open up a couple of different things. It'll be the most shocking thing we've ever seen, and that's why they fought so hard to keep Trump out of office, speaking just about the JFK files, maybe. Or it turns out to be really nothing, and everybody's speculation about who killed him in 1963, we're all correct, and the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency just kept all this stuff from us for no reason. Could go either way. But this is going to be an unbelievable era of transparency, I think, what's going to happen. And like we said, and a lot of people have said this, it's going to be shocking, it's going to hurt. It's like, I'm going to compare this era at first to ripping off the Band-Aid, and you're going to be like, oh, man, I can't believe this was happening, right under our very noses. But then it gets cool. It's already cool. Because you can realize now we can move ahead. And this golden age everybody's talking about, and I'm so glad that term is actually sticking, this golden age of America, it's just beginning. It's like a rebirth right now, and this is day one. Absolutely amazing. And speaking of day one, how about these executive orders, right? Trump 2.0 is a guy that'll do exactly what he wants, not in a vengeful kind of way, but he's not listening to the kind of people that will chop off his power and his legs like he did the first time. And I think that happened a lot the first time. Case in point, I cannot wait for these executive orders to be signed to undo the damage that dementia brain did to us these past 4 years. Here's a good sign of that.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun watching television tomorrow. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. Let's do it over a period of weeks. I said, like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign them at the beginning.
Are you thinking the same thing I am? I want to know who's telling him that. There's your first problem. Those kinds of folks telling him to slow down and to appease and to bend a knee and to no. Push them to the side. And I'm glad he's not listening to that anymore. Get it done. The main reason being, we all want to see it done. It's the right thing to do, is to undo the damaging policies Biden did. I mean, he signed a stack full of leather binders on his first day. Remember that a few years ago? But also this. There's so much work to be done to fix this country. You don't have literally a day to waste. Get going on it right now. And that's going to be a bunch of different things. Offshore oil drilling, get rid of those bans. The January 6th folks, a lot of them are going to be getting out of jail. It's going to be amazing. You wait. And by the way, here's the other thing that's coming out through the media. They're going to throw, at first, until nobody listens to them anymore, and that's almost happening. Every media story you're going to see from here on out is going to be, watch for a lot of these. Dissension among the administration. They're already starting in on Vivek, how he's not going to be part of Doge, and he may not, but they're saying because it's an internal fighting has started already. That was a New York Times article over the weekend. They're going to say that this is strictly revenge. Trump's being a dictator. And just like during the election cycle, just ignore him. We're at a point now where the most supposedly credible news sources in the country are just to be ignored because they've completely lost their audience and now they've lost their credibility. Bye. They're gone. Get ready for the golden age. Here was another amazing thing that happened. We all talked about it. You and I joked about it on the live stream, and a lot of your comments said the exact same thing. I wasn't completely sure the Village people were going to show up and actually perform YMCA. Well, at the rally yesterday, boy, they sure did. Yeah, absolutely they did. And they got Trump to do the dance to YMCA. I give these guys, whoever's left in the Village people, original members, I don't know, are there any? I think the cop is. I don't know. I give them so much credit for doing this. They really, because at first they were a little off-put, and let's face it, a lot of the Village people fans weren't too excited about YMCA. Now definitely associated with Trump much more than the disco era, like much more. Like he brought that thing back to the charts. But they fulfilled their promise and they were there at the rally.
Come on, everybody. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
And there he was. There's his dance. He got him to dance. And there was an iconic photo. Check this out on social media, probably mostly on X today, because all the memes are fantastic, of Trump, doing the Trumpian-like dance, right as the Native American Village person is right next to him with the big Native American Indian headdress, just throwing his arms up in the air. It was like, you can't help but think, oh, we're so back. We're so back when you see that iconic photo. It's amazing. Here's what else is back. Let's not forget about this piece of news. And yes, I know a lot of you aren't on TikTok. I am barely on TikTok. But throughout the years, I have learned how powerful it is. Now, I'm this guy 2 years ago that was making videos and encouraging people in a different life, telling people to get rid of TikTok because it's evil, the propaganda side of it. This was before all the information came out about the data stealing. That's one thing. But I think by now people realize what an incredibly powerful propaganda tool this is, because it's run by basically the CCP. They control everything this ByteDance company does. And at first, when TikTok was out there, that was absolutely the God's honest truth. It was just a weaponized propaganda tool from the left. So it gets a hold of Congress. These old stuffy congressmen have no idea what it even is. I mean, half of them were like, what's wrong with Tic Tacs? I don't know. But then they got to them about the data stealing, and that got them all upset because that's what they're most afraid of. So that happened too. One other theory is that there's a very strong pro-Israeli lobby that got a lot of these congressmen and a lot of these lawmakers to put the ban into place because, well, it is true. It was when the Hamas war broke out, all of the content on that thing was pro-Hamas. It was ridiculous. So that had a big effect too. Here's the real thing, though. This is what it's really about, and this is why there's a fight to save it, and the update on that here in just a second. This is whoever controls TikTok, or whatever TikTok becomes, or whatever replaces it, that's the party, that's the group, or the movement that controls the future vote of America. It's honest to God true. Most young people, and if you've got teenagers, or you got kids in their 20s like I do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is how they get their information now, mostly through this. Seen it, lived it, experienced it, even just yesterday. They're asking me, they're on constant updates. They're trying to see if TikTok, oh my God, TikTok really is down. It's down. I can't believe it. This is really happening. And then you had all the really brain damaged lunatics who were like going through withdrawals. That's how addictive this thing is. But as you know by now, it was brought back. They made an announcement, and they even thanked President Trump. And then, of course, you know, he thanked himself.
And as of today, TikTok is back. So, you know, I did a little TikTok thing. We have a guy, TikTok Jack. He's a young kid, like 21 years old. And we hired this guy, and I went on TikTok. Can you believe what I'll do to win an election? And we went on TikTok, and Republicans have never won the young vote, the youth vote. They win.
That's it right there. He just said it. That's exactly what it is. It's not that, you know, he wants TikTok to be there to make Barron and all his friends happy. It's about power. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. It's not about the data stealing. It's really not. That's the cover. It's about who controls this, who controls the message to young people. Trump said it right there. Republicans for the first time, because he wound up, once he signed on to TikTok and started, his social media team was good this time around. And they started making little, if you ever saw him, the quick campaign videos designed just for TikTok, they were good. He made an amazing impact. What he realized was they could actually do well with this thing. He does not want this thing to go away. That's why he fought to bring it back. So it's a 30-day reprieve, find an American buyer, blah, blah, blah. Just here to tell you, that's what it's about. The reason why there's a fight to keep this thing going, or the other end of that is a fight to bring it down, is because it's a fight over who controls the messaging to young people. Traditional news is dead. It's gone. You can just look at the numbers and tell you that. Old mainstream news is struggling to do what like TikTok does. And the future voters, this voting bloc that's in their teens and 20s and even 30s right now, it's a battle to get them. And the Republicans, because of Trump, realized, hey, you know what? If we do this thing right, if we gain control of this, this is a very, very powerful propaganda weapon. Because let me tell you, yeah, the Democrats use propaganda through the media. Don't fool yourself into thinking Republicans don't do it too. Of course they do. Anybody that wants power runs propaganda. It's just a matter of who's behind it. That's what this is all about. But it was amazing that the statement that came out from TikTok itself, I thought this was a joke. I really did. But they put it up there, TikTok policy, which is ironically on X. In agreement with our service providers, TikTok's in the process of restoring service. We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance. Didn't see that coming. Wow. How about that? So we'll see what happens in 30 days. American buyer. But TikTok is not going to go away because there are very powerful people who want to use it. That's my only message to you on that. That's how you read that situation. All right. Lost in all of this, and let's not make it lost. Happy Inauguration Day for sure. It's a great day. It's also MLK Day. Don't ever forget the great work, life, and achievements of Martin Luther King Jr. This is his day. Always remember it. Big holiday, obviously, as well. A lot of you out of work, and kids are off of school. Just remember that I Have a Dream speech.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
How far have we fallen that message is seen as controversial? I mean that. It's like seen as controversial. How far are we away where we've got DEI policies now, for now, until they're all gone, where people are literally the exact opposite of what he said. They're literally judged by their skin color and put in categories. And depending on what skin color, you don't get the right kind of jobs. It's just a different kind of quota now because DEI just looks at people who are maybe middle-aged and white and male. And you don't get those jobs. He wasn't talking about revenge. He was talking about unity for all America. The guy was amazing. How much better off as a society, culture, country would we have been if he was still around? The guy was incredible. He would be horrified. how his name is misused, how his message is misused. Don't forget the great work. Go back and look at what he really said, because MLK was incredible. Left a huge gap when we lost him, but we can still have a dream. Happy Inauguration Day. Enjoy it. Enjoy the golden age of America, because it's only just beginning. And thanks for finding me. Thanks for finding Wicked Radio. Audio podcast, wherever you download those, you can get them. You can get them. It's usually at about 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, this lives as a replay on the live stream on X, YouTube, and Facebook. So didn't go to Washington, D.C., but I think it all worked out for the best. Bummed out, but relieved to be with you. Enjoy your inauguration. Don't take any crap from anybody. Have a wicked awesome day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.